everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for this edition of I Remember. In this video, I'm going to be featuring my LORAC Pro 1 palette here. So this, I think, is such a basic and essential palette. It's probably one of, if not the most recommended palette on my channel. And does it not stand the test of time? Like, if you haven't pulled this out in a while and you're just now laying eyes on this for the first time in quite some time, we can all recognize how these are some essential shades, right? I mean, we've got a variety of tones, we've got the row of mattes, the row of shimmers. So I'm gonna put that palette back in action today, and I'm doing a look that actually incorporates a double wing. I saw my friend David, he sent me a picture of some looks that he did during Fashion Week, and one of them was a double wing, and I immediately thought, I want to try that on my eyes. So I'm gonna do that today. The shadow look is really fairly basic, but the wing takes a little, I don't know, doing, but it's not that hard. And you know what I was thinking as I was creating the look? I was thinking how, like, if you want a Halloween look, but you don't want to do like Halloween makeup, but you want something like a little more fun for that night and a little more vampy and glam, this could be that look, you know? So anyway, hopefully the steps that I put this into make it a little bit easy. And let me know also what forgotten or older palettes you would like to see in this series. I've already done the Naked One palette. In general, I feel like I've had a lot of requests for like the first edition of some of these series. So Naked One, LORAC Pro, this one. Also the first chocolate bar palette, but I've done a lot of Too Faced lately, so I will do that one eventually because I've had tons of requests for chocolate bar. But I'm open to doing drugstore ones too. I already have done the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette, so let me know if there's any iconic drugstore palettes that you can think of that maybe haven't gotten a real good look lately. Also guys, do you see in the background I got a little Boo pumpkin? It's black and white and I got it from Target, and then I got a candle thing, and I think there's some glare coming off of it from the window, but I've got a little flameless candle back there, and the holder for it, I got it on clearance for like $6 in the outdoor section of Target, so yes. Anyway, let's move it along. Here's the tutorial. Okay, so I've put on my Milani eyeshadow primer all over the eye, and then I'm gonna sort of give myself a little bit of a base. I'm gonna use this color called Cream, a matte shade, and just kind of go over the whole surface of the eye. I do want the shadow that's happening up here to end up kind of soft looking actually. So you can take one of those, you know, creamy neutral mattes and just set the tone here. And then I'm gonna go into taupe. Hello taupe. And we're gonna pop this in the crease just to very lightly get some color going here. It helps the deeper shades blend a little bit when you don't go in like super full force with your darkest shade all at once right at the beginning. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Sable. And Sable is a really warm brown actually. My memory card just cut out on me, so I'm not sure if you got all that, but I was saying that Sable is a very warm brown. And when I incorporate it into a look and I sheer it out, it almost seems like some different shade between like taupe and Sable, you know, like it's just this really soft warm brown when you do it sheer. And then I'm going to go back with a little more taupe and just work this in kind of around the edge of what I've done here. I went back and did that at the tail end of this look, so I'm just going to go ahead and, for simplicity's sake, do that now. Then I love how brightening the light pink color is here. And the fun thing about LORAC Pro is that, you know, they name the shades exactly what they are. This shade is light pink. Thank you. I guess not every one of their palettes is that way, but you know, in some palettes they're gonna start naming that like Sunday Macaroon or something. So then a little more Sable, and I'm just gonna put this on the outer half of my lid. Ultra basic so far, right? You could certainly make this stage of the game a little more flashy. There's just a lot of like intricate liner happening in this look, and I kind of want that to shine. Okay, so there's that simple, easy matte. And then I'm gonna take a really fine-tipped liner pen. I'm using this because it's new and I just sort of wanted to test it out. It's the Super Slim from L'Oreal in the shade called Black. And I'm actually gonna start on my innermost corner, and I'm gonna go a little bit beyond my tear duct. See how this one is like pointing down just a little bit? So I'm gonna do that. It's like just continue your line as if you were just passing by the tear duct. I screwed this up the first time on the other eye because I like never do this. Kind of like that, see? But I had to go back and erase some and put it back on. But then from there, I'm just gonna continue all the way across like normal eyeliner. This liner is actually pretty easy to use, and it does dry down to like a nice matte black. Now that we're getting to the end of the eye, I'm gonna do a wing, and I like to do my wing liner sort of keeping in mind where my brows are at. Okay, so I like to do my general standard wing, just doing a normal wing here, and we're gonna point it kind of off toward the tip of our eyebrow. And I like to swoop it up in that manner, then go from the actual corner of my eye and come out to meet it. Then we've got this little empty triangle, and it's just a matter of filling that in. I may have really oversimplified that just then, but that is sort of the quick thought process that goes through my mind whenever I do it. And sometimes I come in and I also fill in that little gap, so there's not quite so much of a whoop, you know, dip to my wing, but it's more of a coming right at you wing. Sound effects help me, okay? So I think that top line is about what I did over on the other side. Now we're gonna put that one down for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lower inner rim with a black liner. This is the NYX Très Jolie, and the shade is Pitch Black. Any black that you like to use in your waterline will do. And I'm gonna take it all the way to like meet my, you know, tear duct action that's happening here. Take it all the way in there and then all the way back across the waterline. Some people can do their waterline without like pulling down at all. And I don't know how those people avoid drawing on their eyeball, but somehow it works for them. But I have to pull down a little bit to ensure that I'm not lining my eyeball. Wait, I think I just did draw on my eyeball. Inevitably. I'm going to take the liquid liner again, and I'm going to use this to create sort of a guideline. I'm going to play off of this line a lot with shadow, but I want the line to be there with liquid first. So I'm going to try to think about making a little parallel line underneath the first wing. And it's going to kind of go out like this. And just be this little line. Did anybody catch that? Was it so fine it didn't even show up on the camera? Gosh, I hope it did. Bub is like literally tiptoeing into the room at the most intricate part of the look. Come in, it's okay. Just think about keeping it, perhaps, if you can, a little bit finer than the top line, and we're going to, like I said, accentuate this with shadow. First up, I'm taking just a regular angled liner brush, and I'm going to go into black in this palette. This is where a real solid black can be so beneficial. And I'm kind of going on, if not slightly underneath the line, and just using a little shadow there. And then kind of pulling it in here, and see how that's starting to now mesh with the lower lash line a bit more. So we're softening there. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Sable, our good friend Sable. And I'm just going to use that as well, a little bit there. Again, we're softening the look. And then, something I really liked about the other eye that I did, that I will keep consistent on this eye, is I used Garnet. This is in the spirit of fall, everybody. I'm going to take Garnet, and that's going to be like following the entire lower lash line. I went way in here with it, and I'm going to continue it all the way up under the wing. And what we end up kind of getting a look of here is one really tight, solid liquid wing paired with another texture of wing that seems a little bit softer because we're letting the powder come up under it. And just give it this nice, like, kind of almost feathery look. I don't know. Texture. That's what we're playing with here. Texture. And then I did one more thing on the other eye, and I don't really know how I feel about this. Like, it's okay. It's not really as pronounced just because it is such a subtle little thing. But I took gold eyeshadow and I went right between the wings. And I used a very fine brush. If you're wondering, it's the Winged Liner EO6. It's like a teeny fine angled liner brush. And I used gold from the palette. And I just stuck it there in between and created like one more fall splash. Doesn't have to be done. I think it looks fine, and if not, a bit cleaner when you don't do this, but hard to stop yourself sometimes. I gotta fill that gap with something. I think you can make that really pronounced if you had a gold cream liner or a gold eyeliner, even heck, a gold liquid liner that was really foiled looking and you wanted to like put it there in between the wings, but I'm just using the shadow. But see how we're dark, we're smoky, we're intense, but we're a hint of fall because we use garnet and gold. Next up, I am going to curl my eyelashes here. I'm using this Essence Lash Princess Sculpted Volume Mascara, which is pretty good. I don't like it as well as Lash Paradise, but I've got a tube open, so I'm really trying to discipline myself mascara-wise and use some of these tubes that I got open. And I think this is a look where you could skip the false lashes and you would have a ton of impact sheerly from what you've done with your eyeliner. But I kind of like the glam that the lashes throw on it, you know? I'm doing a little bit of lower lash here too with the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant. And the lash I'm using is a current favorite. It's the Cocoa lashes in the style called Misha. It's like a real fluffy, just full fluttery lash. So I'm going to pop that on. You know, I gotta wait a little bit, let the glue get tacky and whatnot, and I'll put that on and I'll join you with the finished look and let you know a few more details about what else is on my face. So there's the finished look. I'm so happy with it. I think this was really fun. I mean, I'm not really the pro of all like crazy liner looks, but I was inspired and I think it kind of paid off. It's a fun way to add interest to your look without like screaming at your friends like, hey, I'm doing something different with my eyeshadow. And I really love this palette. Like, it's the mother of all basic, you know, all the must-haves type of palettes. It's so good. And what else I used on my face here, this is my blush. This is from the brand called Found, and I found it at Walmart, and the shade is called Rose Glow. It's kind of an illuminating glowy blush. And also in the spirit of LORAC, I used my LORAC Pro contour palette. So I've got like a little bit of that highlight on here and definitely the contour shades as well. I mostly use the light contour and a little bit of the medium. And on my lips, I am wearing my Charlotte Tilbury Bond Girl. There's a shop your stash moment. I thought I wanted something kind of fall, but not too terribly dark paired with this eye. So I think this is just about perfect. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was fun, and definitely again, leave your requests for any other I Remember videos in the comments section below. Thanks guys. See ya.